hope you're having a great day. We all know that our country got freedom from the British Empire on 15th August 1947. Through great efforts, our country has managed to gain independence. However, there was a big challenge after we got our freedom. Proper care and planning had to be taken to create a strong foundation. In our session today, we will learn about how the systems of democracy were put in place. From the topic, the independent India, the first 30 years, 1947 to 77, from class 10th, Social Studies. Learning outcomes. We will learn about the first general elections, universal adult franchise and its challenges. Election Commission. One-party dominance in Indian politics. Keywords. Universal adult franchise refers to all citizens who are 18 years and above, who are free to vote irrespective of their caste, education, religion, color, race, and economic conditions. One-party dominance. One-party dominance is a situation where one political party has continuously won elections by a very large majority and therefore does not require to form alliances with other political parties. Election Commission. The Election Commission is an independent body that the Constitution of India set up to ensure a free and fair election. Constitution. A constitution is a set of fundamental rules that determine how a country or state is run. Check the concept map. I hope you all have heard of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He is a famous Dalit leader and also popularly referred to as the father of Indian Constitution. Let us start this session with a quotation from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Told us about the day that the Constitution of India would come into effect. On the 26th of January 1950, we are going to enter into a life of contradictions. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. In politics, we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote and one vote, one value. In our social and economic life, we shall, because of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. The Indian Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950. The Constitution sought to achieve many goals together. These included creating a framework to make democracy work, unification and creation of a single political community, and bringing social and economic changes. The setting of national goals and the creation of a framework for the Indian Constitution in a short period was a great achievement for people who had previously been ruled by a foreign power for more than 2 centuries. The early years after independence were a crucial period in India's post-independent history. The first main challenges that the country had to face was a need to maintain unity and integrity, bring social and economic transformation, and ensure the smooth functioning of the democratic system. These challenges were interrelated, and great efforts were needed to ensure that our systems did not tip out of order. For example, development goals, unity and integrity must not come at the cost of democracy itself. Let us see how these issues are interrelated and how the Constitution and our democratic system function. Also, we will learn about how India took upon the challenge of nation building. The first general elections. The first general elections to be held after the new constitution was significant in our democratic history. It represented India's determination to take the path of democracy after being freed from British rule. Universal adult franchise. India adopted the universal adult franchise on 26 January 1950. The first elections in India was difficult as a large section of the population was illiterate. How would they elect their candidate of choice? Also, in some parts of the country, women did not have their own identity. This has to change if they were to have equal rights and participate in democratic functioning. Election Commission. How were electoral rolls to be made? How were the elections going to be held? To tackle these issues, an election commission was set up. They were tasked with setting up and taking care of the practical aspects of conducting the elections across the country to overcome the problems of illiteracy. The Election Commission introduced the idea of having symbols as visual identification from everyday life to represent political parties and candidates. This visual system of identification continues even today. In the first election, each candidate had distinct ballot boxes marked with their visual symbols. The voter only had to drop their ballot paper in the box of their preferred candidate. In the run-up to the elections, there was a massive campaign to encourage people to go out and vote. One-party dominance in the political system. In independent India's first three general elections, 1952, 1957 and 1962. The Indian National Congress won, reducing the competing candidates to almost nothing. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India. No other party individually got more than 11% of the votes polled. The Congress consistently won over 70% of the seats by obtaining about 45% of the total votes cast. No other party was anywhere near the Congress. The Congress system. The Congress party formed the government in many states as well. This marked what some call the Congress system. This period in India is identified specifically by the nature of the relationship between the nominating Congress party and the other parties. However, Congress always had smaller subgroups within the larger party. While these groups came about due to personal competition between leaders. They usually shared the overall party goals, while still having minor differences on some policy issues. These groups took different positions on various issues depending on the interest of their group members. This enables Congress to appear as the party representing diverse interests and positions. At times, these groups also collaborated with other political parties to put pressure on the leadership. This acted as an inbuilt corrective system within the ruling party. Political competition therefore took place within the Congress and the opposition parties. The other parties contested but were not able to win enough seats to challenge the Congress. These parties gradually built themselves and became strong contenders for power. This allowed the establishment of a multi-party system based on free and open competition. The constitutional framework and democratic foundations enabled Indian politics to develop a multi-party democracy. Therefore, India's experience was very different from that of other colonial countries like China, Nigeria, etc. So, in this video, we have learned about the Constitution of India, the general elections, one-party dominance of the Congress party, and the formation of a multi-party system in the country.